What's up, everybody? Tourhead Nordy here with you, and it's Phil's birthday. Ha ha! One of the best fucking other ones ever. 10/27/79. I'm gonna talk over it so we can play it loud. Put it up even. Fuck it. There we go. Now we can hear Phil. So, Phil's birthday. He was born in 1940. Means he's 82 fucking years old and he's still kicking ass. And he made it through his liver transplant. The donor rap, always pay attention to that. Keep up your organs when you're done. Someone else is gonna need them. So, Phil has always been my favorite. Ever since I heard The Dead, everybody's got their favorites. Everybody loves Jerry, of course. You know, my one friend Scott loves Bob so much that he made a back-to-back tape with Every Looks Like Rain he could fit on both sides of the cassette back in the day. But I love Phil. I got Phil over here. Alan Petrasic photo from Ventura in 84, I think. And then I got the Phil poster I had my friend draw in 85 for me that I was selling back then on the Southwest tour. I got the great and amazing Robbie Cohn photo from Red Rocks in 85. Phil, surround yourself with Phil. Surround yourself with Phil. It's amazing. Where's my other one? Oh. Ah, that's why I love Phil. Another Robbie Cohn photo from Red Rocks 85 as well, the middle day when he's wearing his acid shirt. Thank you, Robbie. I got big, giant, trippy Phils. I got Phils everywhere. Surround yourself. Fill yourself up with Phil. Ha. This is one of the best versions of the other one. Phil's shining moments. He had so many of them. Like incredible. Greek 85. Fuck. Great American Music Hall 75. That intro, holy fuck, and just Phil. Just crushing it always. Didn't even know how to play the bass when Jerry said, "You're our bass player." If you got musical skills like Phil does, I guess you don't need to know how to play the fucking instrument before you start playing it, right? Like, fuck it. He just had it in his brain so he could do it. And that made him even more unique, I think, because he didn't know how to play the fucking bass, so he invented his own way to play the bass, and that's why Phil is so different, so far out there, so lead guitar player on a bass style, you know? Nobody rocks it like Phil does. I mean, very few people. Some obscure, other people, not obscure I shouldn't say, but other artists out there play in unique styles in similar ways to Phil. But those people probably didn't know how to play the bass when they started either, and they developed their own thing. Stanley Clarke, people like that. So, I don't know. And it's interesting, because Phil was never really influenced, and still isn't from what I've read, by other musicians and other bass players. He's always just kind of ran it on his own. Like, he'll listen to old classical music, I guess, if he wants to listen to anything, which is really interesting because that gives you an even more unique perspective on how to play something or a way to play it by never hearing anyone else play it, you know? It's like if you want to write something, don't read something similar before you write it because you'll be influenced by them. Well, if Phil isn't influenced by anybody, then he gets to be the most unique guy because he basically is inventing his own style, which I think is amazing and incredible. And clearly he's influenced by classical music like Mozart and all the other seriously classical music from back in the day because obviously he's much more of a composer than a bass player, if you will, and it's almost like his bass lines are compositional pieces as opposed to just playing the bass in a band, you know, so. Phil lit it up for me at my very first show. I was already way into it. I couldn't wait to hear him live. Just couldn't wait to be inside the venue, sitting there like, yeah, I get to hear Phil, like through Phil's bass hand, through the fucking PA, through the Grateful Dead's PA. I get to hear that tonight. I had felt it with good speakers, but unless you were rich back in 1979, 1980, 1981, and you could buy JBLs, you had shitty speakers that you got at Sears or whatever, you know? So Phil would usually blow all my speakers out after a little while. So it would be like blam instead of dum like it's supposed to be. But these days, man, even the little speakers and everything sounds fucking great. And Phil is coming through stronger and louder than ever. I can't say anything more. My favorite ever, Phil Lesh. Here's a hit to Phil Lesh. I watched him in Ventura in 85, I think, or 84. He had this big giant joint stuck in the speakers, and he kept going back in between songs and pulling it out and lighting it, taking a big hit and then tucking it back in the speakers. So here's to you, Phil, and happy birthday, man. Never met you, didn't really care about meeting anybody in the dead. It's easier to be a fan from afar, and when you're way out in the audience, it sounds better than trying to get backstage and stand around the back of the amps. That might have been cool, and I really would have loved to have done that at some point, but that's for other heads to do. I like being out in the audience and listening to it, and Phil always thundered, shook. Ah! That's why this person kills it. God damn. Little longer video than usual, but stick with me. So, long version. You know what's interesting is all those years of Phil not singing. Did it make it worse on you to want to hear him sing now, or did it make it better? Like, now you're like, or then, on tour, Dead Tour then, you'd be like, can Phil sing every other song now that he started singing? All those years of the, let Phil sing, you know, like, then he started doing it, and then you wanted it all the time. It's like hearing Phil, you want it all the fucking time. Thanks for joining me today. Happy birthday to Phil Lesh, 82 years old today, born in 1940. Cheers, here's to you, and thanks for listening today. This is a great version. Remember, this is 10/27/79 from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks for coming around. Phil Lesh, my favorite. Peace.